Let's go with Miss Is it Gaston or Gaston? I want to say it either way. Gaston, I think I shall. You're on mute. You take it, and then Skylar, please help, and Lourdes help as well. You're on mute, by the way. Bottom left.
Okay, there we go. Yay, I'm new at this.
Okay.
Okay, what am I doing?
You're gonna read the last sentence, like read this one. We just start on this side.
Okay, which meeting should the product owner attend less frequently? Choose 2.
Yes, ma'am. And then we're gonna go back and read this thingy.
Okay, in an agile project, too many meetings have been made. Too many meetings have made the product's owner's schedule unworkable. Project manager was asked to prioritize some meetings and decrease frequency of others.
Mm-hmm. You know what a product, what like a product owner's job is? Any idea?
Put me on the spot and I just went blank. Okay. Project owner, and I'm sorry, I've been reading for like 2 days solid. I just started this, but they're the ones that actually make sure that it's getting done and getting done right, the right way.
The product owner. Yeah. Okay. So you said getting done and getting like the work's getting done and getting done the right way. That's product owner.
Yeah.
Or this is agile. This is an agile thing, right? We're in an agile project, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. It says agile. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Skylar, we'll come back in 1 second. Skylar, what's your interpretation of like, hey, I'm paying a product owner. Like, what is their job responsibilities? Like, what's the core? What are they trying to accomplish, man?
Yeah, so the product owner essentially, he owns the product from an internal perspective. He's not necessarily the customer, but he is to almost act as if he is a customer on an internal perspective, kind of. But with that being said, it's a very important role because you need that perspective from like a customer, but also you're implementing it. You're almost like you're playing both sides almost. You're making sure that the quality and quality of the product is good, but at the same time, you're also kind of seeing how the management and team progress is working to make sure that product is what the customer wants.
Yes. So I love it. Thank you, sir. We'll go back to her. And then John C says owns the backlog, the product backlog, and is responsible for the product life cycle. That's beautiful, John. From like the beginning ideation to like the closing down of the product. Like we're not going to sell Cheetos anymore. Like that's it. And so, yeah, from the whole life cycle, and they're like manning the vision. They're like, this is exactly what we're building. Think of like Steve Jobs, like, yo, we're going to have phones and they're going to be awesome. And they're going to be all this stuff. And so like before we had these things, we didn't have these things. And like he envisioned, or somebody envisioned, I don't know who he stole it from. Like, and they just kept the ideas like, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Somebody's going to like go forward. One thing that you said, I don't know your first name. I apologize. Gaston, I apologize. I don't know your first name. Miss Gaston.
Am I on mute again?
I don't know your first name.
Okay,
I apologize. Amber, I apologize. I should know.
That's fine.
And then like the one thing you said is like making sure that the work gets done. Product owner is more like that the right work gets done, not like in the guts and the details. Like the team manages that, or the Scrum Master helps. So totally okay. I've kind of taken us to a side. So it says product owner's schedule, their like Outlook calendar is like full. Cool. Crazy. We got to find out what meetings they wouldn't come to. Let's walk through these and tell me if you know these meetings or not, if you don't mind. Like A, like a retrospective. Should we say, hey, nah, don't worry about coming to retrospective, dude. You don't need to come. Like.
Retrospective. I have no idea.
Okay. Why don't we do this? I'll have you flip on the backside and see if Skylar can do it so much that you understand it. Is that cool?
Sure.
Let's see. Yeah. So Skylar, take it away, dude.
Cool. Totally. I'm all in. So sprint retrospectives, that is a meeting that is held at the end of a sprint, which is usually a time boxed 2-week period of a certain amount of specific duties to be done by a agile team. So within those duties, at the end of it, you're looking back on your 2-week period and saying, what went wrong, what went really well, how can we improve on the next sprint, and how can we maybe not make as many mistakes that happened this sprint in the next one. So that's kind of my understanding of a sprint retrospective.
Would you-
Personally,
would it be- yeah, go ahead, keep going.
no, keep going. What were you?
I was gonna say, is that one of the meetings where you're like, product owner, don't worry, dude, you don't need to be there, or you don't have to always come? What are you thinking? Is that one you should go to or not? Go or no go?
Is this to me or is this to
Yeah, sorry,
Amber?
to you, Skylar. Sorry, dude, to you.
So I personally think it's very important, but I don't think a product owner necessarily needs to be there because I think it can be wrapped up in like a summary, right? Of this happened here. This is, and it can be emailed almost to a product owner or briefed very quickly from a high level.
Okay, so we're gonna say relatively no go. So it's one of those ones like, hey, if you don't have to go, don't go. Okay, so let's go to the other one. Do you, if Skylar, in your opinion, would you want this product owner to go or not go to the like subject matter expert like meetings, like meeting with the consultations with people that know stuff about the product or the market or whatever? Would you want him to go or not?
I totally would want him to go to that kind of a meeting. I think that's his primary role, is to take ownership of that product. So I think that I would totally have him go to the SME consultations.
How about the daily stand-up? Like it's 15 minutes every day, you know, the team around, like this is what we worked on yesterday, this is what we're working on today, these are the rocks we have. Is that one of the ones where you're like, dude, you got to be there, or maybe not?
It's, again, that's very important, but I don't think it's a little bit low level for the product owner to be attending every single day, especially if his schedule is already crammed.
Okay, I can dig it. So we're gonna say no. Let's see about D, team performance reviews.
I think that it's very kind of low level when in the perspective of a product owner. It doesn't really specifically capture the product owner's objectives, but it's, again, nice to know.
Okay, so no go. It's like, yeah, go, but like it's working with the developers and stuff. Maybe they're not the right person. Okay. How about end user feedback sessions? We're going or not going?
Based off of what I know, I think I would want him to go to the end user feedback sessions, because the end user, based off of what I understand, is the customer, right? Those are the people that are going to be using your application or your software that you're developing.
Yeah.
So I would definitely have him go to that, because that's his primary duty, is to really kind of mirror the customer.
Yeah. Okay, so we're looking for ones to not go to. So we got 3. So which 2 of the 3 would you say, hey, don't go to this one, don't go to this one if you don't have to?
Okay. The 2 ones that I would not go to. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Choose it.
Then less frequently. Frequently is a long word for me to write, so I didn't want to write it. I just said don't go.
So wait, sorry. Let me read this question again. Which meetings should the product owner attend less frequency? So we're looking at the 2 ones that he should not go to.
Yes.
Okay.
Ryan's on C and D. I'm totally confused though. Angel's on A and D. You do your thinking, dude. I'll do my writing.
Thank you.
Teresa's on A and C. Or shoot. Teresa.
All right, I'm ready whenever you are.
Go for it, Dave.
I'm gonna go with A and D.
A and D. You're on A and D. Awesome. All right. Why did you say so that we're changing stand-ups to like go to the stand-ups?
Right.
Right.
If you have the bandwidth, go ahead, go to the stand-ups.
Go to stand-up. That's how the work is being progressed and moved through the chain. Okay, cool. I can dig it. We have 2 Lourdeses in the call. That's crazy. That's the first time ever. Lourdes Holloway and then Lourdes G. Lourdes Holloway, what are you thinking?
Well, I was thinking daily stand-up meetings and team performance reviews.
Oh, why? So you agree with performance reviews. So that's like, hey, it's at too granular level. So the conversation that we're having now is like between C and A. Like, why the stand-ups? Why not go to the stand-ups? Talk to me about it, please.
Well, I'm still pretty new to this, but I thought that the PM is asked to prioritize meetings and to just decrease the frequency that the owner has to attend meetings. And I believe that he can just go to the sprint retrospectives to kind of discuss the issues that would have went wrong and what could be better in the next sprint,
Right?
instead of going to the everyday meetings that the PM can go to.
Okay. Oh, so that's just like a frequency thing. I mean, the dailies are 15 minutes, the retrospective 2 hours ish, maybe 3 hours, who knows? But like, yeah. So, okay. So just don't go to the dailies, just go to the big one at the end. All right. I think that's what you said. Or no? Yep. All right. Let's get one more opinion. Other Lourdes G. What are you thinking?
Still not clear exactly on all of the meanings for each meeting and their purpose. I've got to get more familiar with them, but I thought that the daily stand-up meetings were kind of important because if anything should change, then all parties are involved in that decision-making process.
Okay. All right. That seems reasonable. All right. I can dig it. Let's get one more opinion. Angela, I think you were on A and D, and then we're gonna go to one more person. But go, Angela, please, ma'am.
Yes, I liked A and D. The sprint retrospectives to me would be more focused on how the work got done. So as a team, as a unit, how are we doing the work? As a product owner, I believe it would be super beneficial for me to be in the daily stand-up meetings to get a daily pulse of how my product is progressing and be able to identify issues early. And then D, team performance reviews should be managed with the manager, not the product owner, in my opinion. So I personally like A and D.
Okay, I can dig it. And then like I did this question earlier today, and I did it almost at the end of the call. And on Wednesdays or every day, we have our daily stand up at 1:30. So it's like right at the end, and I shouldn't do that, right? But and I'm a product owner. And so like part of it was like we ran long in the previous one. And I was like, you know what? Forget it. Like I just took the calls like, hey, y'all start without me, you're good. And then I could just watch them. They were just going, blah, blah, blah. And so like I honestly like didn't go to the daily stand up to the first 7 minutes of it today because I was in the coaching call. And the reason why I didn't do the daily stand up today was because our team is relatively well developed. It's small. There's like 5 people or 4 people. And they're very like I could see everybody had their cameras on. Everybody was talking, bing, bang, boom. They were working at the Kanban board. They were going. And they had it because it's their work. It's for me. They're doing things for me. Like I pay them money, but like they're running. And like, so if they're self-actualizing or whatever you call it, like self-managing, self-organizing, then you're okay being like, as a product owner, yeah, cool, come. But like this, the meeting, the daily stand-up is for the team. Hey, how's the work going? How do we go there? I have this issue. Boom. Everybody knows what they're moving and we move ahead. Really hard to get down to 15 minutes, but once you get it down, it's like hard to get down to 15 minutes, but once you get down to 15 minutes, it's easy because everybody knows the rules and we're all focused on the same stuff. It's weird. So that's why I think maybe if I could I shouldn't put myself in this game. I'd say maybe we don't go to D. The one question I would ask you, Angela, is like, as we're looking at this entire system, and I'll just clean the paint off. And I say like, hey, from like Agile and Lourdes, gee, you mentioned like you don't know the thing. So if like this Agile framework, like if we go with Scrum, so we start out with like a product backlog, and that's like all the work that we could do, like all the things, the user stories, we could do this, we could do that, and it's all organized by priority. And so that's all there. And the product owner owns that. So that's their responsibility. And they frame it up, organize it, and do all those things. That's why we're talking like it's super important to talk to the subject matter experts so that the right stuff gets on the list and it gets prioritized. And then the other thing on the back end, we get feedback to say like, hey, you're making the wrong stuff, dude. Like, I don't like what you're doing. So that could affect, or I got these more ideas that could affect here. So that's why this is super important as well. And so if we have this product backlog right here, and then we have a sprint, which is a 2-week time box. You nailed it, Skylar. 2 weeks of time, where the team, like these little folks right here, they make a decision. They have a conversation with this product owner. And they say, hey, product owner says, hey, here's my list of work, the things that I want built. And I recommend that we do these. And the team looks at it in a sprint planning meeting or iteration planning meeting. And they say, I hear what you're talking about, bang, bang. And they got some questions. And they say, hey, we as a team are going to bring a couple of these over. We can get these done for you. We're going to do it. Just give us 2 weeks. We got you. So those are on there now. And then they work every day to crank it out and do well. And they have their daily stand-ups. Like if there's 2 weeks, it's 10 of them, right? Monday through Friday times 2. And every day they do the daily stand-ups and they're like, hey, us as a team, we committed to doing this. We want to accomplish this sprint goal for our big boss. Yay. And here's where we are. Like, what work did you get done? What are you doing next? You need any of my help? Did you find any issues? Blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows. And they're progressing it through. So this meeting's all about helping the team. And the Scrum Master's there too, because that's the guy or girl that greases the wheels, like helps them like, hey man, be more agile, focus on these things. Come on, let's talk through the issues. Let's get it moving. So event wise, like this daily stand up, if done right, is all about the team and the Scrum Master. Product owner can be there, but like not necessary. But cool if they could be there. And then toward the end, it's a super important thing. And that's where we do like reviews. It's called demo review. You guys nailed it. And that's where the customer comes in, subject matter experts, and they look at the thing that was just made. Is it fit for use? Does it work the way it does? What do we learn from it? That's what we're trying to do, like learn, learn, learn. And from that, we connect this loop. Maybe there's more ideas or modifications or whatever that goes through it. And then maybe the product is potentially shippable. So they like approve it and it moves on to like go out to the world maybe, or be held up for a release. So this meeting is like super duper, like you can't miss this if you're the product owner. This is like the show, dude. This is where we learn. The product owner, some of the team, the Scrum Master, and Mr. and Mrs. Customer with a top hat comes and they review the stuff. That's where we learn. So this is super important. This iteration planning meeting is super duper important for them. Backlog refinement, meaning like cultivating the list, which is we get through subject matter expertise. That's super duper important. Oh my God, this is a job that is like product owner should be doing. And then, yeah, those are the things that are important. And then the retro. And I ranted and I apologize, is where we look. Like the way I like to think about it is like, it's like a big building or a meeting at the top where we kind of look down as a team on like how things are working and try, like today's the day I got stabbed 19 years ago. Okay. And when I got stabbed, I don't know if it's my whatever, but I could see myself. I don't know, dude. I could see, I don't know if I'm making up my mind. I could see myself walking in the bar. Like, I don't know. And so like, I could see myself walking. It was weird. I was really drunk. And so like, whatever, I was a kid. And so the retro is where we look down at the system of how work is being done and say, how can we do the system better? So the thing, Angela, that I would say is that maybe there's certain things that we're screwing up here. Maybe we're not having a good communication where we don't understand the work well. Maybe we're not, the product owner is not putting the right things on the list. Maybe he and her are not breaking it down or whatever. Maybe we're not doing a good job in here. Maybe we're not doing a good job in here. Everything's on the table, but without one key person that holds the purse strings, being the product owner, in that meeting, I think we might be at a disadvantage. Now, if they can't make it, okie dokie, but it'd be really cool if they did. So I'd say this one is important because we're trying to make this system, this framework, work better. That's what I would think. Maybe that helps. Maybe that helps. Amber, Angela, you said sprint retrospectives. Was I able to convince you off retrospectives or not? It's okay if I didn't.
Yes, I would say definitely C for the going less. I mean, the team, to your point, should be self-organizing to get the actual work done. When you talk about the review on your chart, that's super duper important. Does that is that D, team performance review, or is team okay, when I think about team performance review,
that's like in user feedback. That's, I guess they could say in user feedback sessions. This is like, hey, you've been working with us as a developer for 6 months. Like, you're doing great. Like you should show up at work on time and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, make sure you do your quarterly trainings and stuff like that. And what do you want in life? And, you know, do you want to take this class and stuff like that? It's more
got
like,
it.
Joe Smith, how you doing?
Okay, that was my original thought on that. Okay, so C and D would be my new answer.
Cool. Skylar, you want to go with that or what?
Yes, sir. I would do C and D and get rid of my original A answer.
No problem. Nailed it. That's cool. We went deep into a lot of questions, and I know there's a lot of people here, so I apologize. But we are like, these are meaty things. Like, think about what we just did. If we can understand, and you don't have to be an expert as we walk out of this question, if we can understand like what these meetings are, who comes to them, what the purpose is, etc., like that's a big deal. Like, if we can nail that down, that's super duper important. Same thing with like how we handle change and cost. Like, dude, those are like pillars of understanding. So that's cool.